Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. I welcome this programme for government and ambitious announcements made by the First Minister this week. The total of 14 bills to be introduced, including, just to name 4, the education, land reform, housing and Scottish languages, can all have important outcomes for the country. Now, this programme for government is anti-poverty and pro-growth, which will certainly help deliver for every community across the country, including my own Greenock and Inverclyde constituency. Now, one of the announcements I particularly welcome is the access to funded childcare to be expanded from 9 months through to the end of primary school in early adopter communities within 6 councils, Inverclyde being one of them, Fife, Shetland, Glasgow, Clackmannanshire and Dundee. Now, this policy will mean a further 13,000 additional children stand to benefit at the end of this parliamentary term. Now, this means another 13,000 children will have a greater opportunity to have the best start in their education journey. Now, John Swinney spoke very strongly about his commitment to the expansion of early years education and why it was so vital. Now, the announcements of the First Minister on Tuesday build upon that. The increase in the £12 per hour for social care staff and childcare staff is hugely important and will benefit my constituency, particularly as Inverclyde has a growing older population who are more likely to require social care support. And across the country, however, up to 100,000 people, the vast majority of whom are women, will benefit from this policy. Now, this may be seen as an opportunity for some people that never considered working in these sectors before. Now, the policy alone will see some staff earn more than an additional £2,000 on top of their current wages. Now, Presiding Officer, I sadly have a growing number of constituents contacting my office struggling with the cost of living crisis brought on by the Tories' obsession with Brexit and the disastrous Truss quartine budget last September, a budget which wreaked havoc on the UK economy that was already struggling. Now, I wonder whether the Scottish Tories still stand by their calls for the Scottish Government, to actually follow suit from that absolute folly last year. Also, my constituents want assistance, and I know that the £405 million being invested in the Scottish Child Payment this year, which will help over 300,000 children across the country, is welcome. In total, £5.3 billion will be invested in social security this year, and this is an investment in people. And I'm saying also the Financial Times called the UK, and I quote, a poor society with some very rich people. I mean, consider that the UK is actually regarded as the 5th richest country in the world. That's a pretty damning indictment. Now, I'm not going to launch into a debate in the class politics, but I'm sure that I can speak for the vast majority of my constituents when I say that at no time should the majority of the population be left to struggle as the trickle-down economics continues to fail millions across Scotland and across the UK. Now, my constituents will be shocked. They'll be shocked to learn that both London Labour and the branch office here in Scotland sold the jerseys when it comes to actually looking after people. Labour no longer want to scrap the bedroom tax. Labour no longer want to scrap the rape clause, but they actually somehow want to make it a bit fairer. Labour no longer want to deliver a progressive taxation system so that those who can afford to pay more can pay more. And Labour no longer want to abolish the House of Lords. Instead, they want to stuff it full of more of their cronies. This so-called party of the working class have turned into a Tory party tribute act to try to win votes in England. Now, the SNP, however, have a record of delivery in our devolved parliament. With the full powers of independence, we as a nation could achieve so much more. We also wouldn't be under the threat of the Westminster Internal Market Act, which any future UK government could use to limit the actions of this Parliament and also of this government. Now, I welcome the closer working relationships with the business community, including the £50 million package to support enterprise and entrepreneurship. Now, this will create new opportunities to start, scale and sustain businesses, and along with the Scottish Government's green industrial and energy strategies, will ensure that businesses maximise the opportunities of a just transition to net zero. I also look forward to the publication of the Addressing Depopulation Action Plan. Now, during the summer recess, quite a number of ministers come to visit the Greenock and Inverclyde constituency, for which I am very grateful for. I did have one meeting with the Minister, Emma Roddick, to discuss Inverclyde's acute depopulation challenges. Now, losing over 30,000 people since 1979 is always going to be a challenge, but with an older population and a growing older population placing more challenges on local public services, we have a need, but also an opportunity to do something to help turn that around. Now, once again, however, that the dead hand of Westminster isn't helping with immigration powers reserved to Westminster. Now, once upon a time, even the Labour Party supported this Parliament acting to try to address population decline with Lord Jack McConnell's Fresh Talent Initiative. Sadly, it was the UK Labour Party who scrapped this policy in 2008 when it introduced a points-based system and thus got rid of a limited approach that actually was helping Scotland. Now, as Labour are now a pro-Brexit party, they see no opportunity for Scotland to deliver policies to help our population challenge, which is even greater now than it was when they were last in power in this Parliament. Now, I welcome the announcement about the bill on Scottish languages. Languages are hugely important to our culture and our community, and working to not only preserve but also grow our languages shows a respect for our past. But it's also an opportunity for more people to engage with our culture and traditions, and this clearly will have economic benefits across the country. Presiding Officer, I'm going to close, but I just want to say generally I'm pleased about this programme for government. It's got solid measures that certainly will provide a wide range of opportunities for Scotland, but also my own constituents in Greer and Inverclyde. Thank you.